Ladies and gentlemen, hi, and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Hope you're having a lovely Saturday if you're watching it on the Saturday. Whether it's at 10 o'clock, first thing in the morning as you're waking up from a hangover of a mad night out on a Friday partying, or we're watching it on a Saturday evening getting ready for the boys and girls, a couple of beers and all that jazz. We've made a little bit of progress. We've got some money, we've got a bag, lots of plastic bottles, and we've been hired by Wild Pines to find out what drugs are going to go on round here. There's some sort of drug smuggling kind of paraphernalia going on round here. So we're going to put the murder mystery solving down for a moment and hope that maybe by solving this crime for the woman I completely forgot what she's called, but the posh lady with all the money who gave us some cash to pay for our rent, we'll see if we can make her happy and maybe she can get us in to talk to the main union guy. So this guy looks like he's got drugs.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a traveler.
The man mutters to himself, accenting the beats as he goes.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
Oh, I'll keep listening.
From another planet. Hey there.
Ah, well, he seems quite friendly. What's going on here?
It's the jam, my man.
Ah, he motions toward the sprawl of lorries with a sweeping gesture.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era. You can almost taste it.
What's the jam, my man?
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight, no explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days.
Jesus, that must be, as a lorry driver, a real pain in the backside. Nothing like not being able to go home after a long day's work. Limbo, huh? So that's where I am.
Yeah, exactly.
It's official. He too agrees. This is the antechamber of the afterlife.
Certainly feels like it. So how long have you been here?
Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout.
Extravagantly phrased, but I can roll with that.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already.
Jesus.
Behind the laugh, however, a touch of sorrow.
So tell me, what do you need?
Oh, well, I can imagine if he's got family and friends at home, I can imagine being stuck in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Let's go with, do you know anything about the dead man? The one hanging behind the hostel there? Point at the yard?
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Busy with what?
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries and their sad, despondent chauffeurs.
Yeah, I quite like the multitude of big words. Very, very formal. And your conclusion?
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees.
Yeah. Tell me more about this strike.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
We already know what the union's demanding, so we'll say, anything else I should know?
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do.
Yeah, I mean, I just do my job and get paid, and also contemplate the philosophical quandaries of life on the road. All of who?
Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere, to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really.
Ah, to get high, so maybe he knows something about the drugs. Not you.
Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
He glances down the road towards the horizon, a glint of something in his eyes. What are you hauling anyway?
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Oh, he's telling a joke, isn't he? Okay, what are you actually hauling?
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of found cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits, and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Ilmaran market lately.
Oh, right, okay, could we get a tracksuit, possibly? Do the old Slav detective kind of thing going on. Could I get one of those found tracksuits you're hauling?
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
Nah, that's fair enough. That's your machine behind you.
This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
Yeah, these lorries are pretty neat.
Neat. For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance. These found tracksuits need to find their way to the kids way out in Wamrau and Loran Bird somehow.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he's spent too long in this lorry.
I was reading the BBC at work today, a news site for those who aren't familiar with how England works, and there's recently been a really, really big uptick in people who are too poorly to go back to work. They're young enough to work, but too ill to go to work. And one of the highest jobs where you are too sick to work, mentally wise, is lorry driving. Mainly because you spend too much time alone and too much time thinking. I'm kind of getting this vibe from this guy, so I'm not going to accuse him of carrying anything illegal. I don't believe he's carrying anything naughty. Right, I had another question.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
What do we... Empathy, blur, but what do you see in his eyes?
Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
Hey man, I want to know about your soul. Man, you look sad. What's going on with you?
I'm okay, man. Just... the jams got me down. The fumes, the chemical rainbows, the tarpaulin stretched on the frames and the dull engines off.
The man recedes into his days of words.
Maybe the full-on, direct approach wasn't correct. Damn, it's tricky business looking into someone's eyes and not doing it wrong.
Not being able to make that emotional connection. Well, you seem to like a man who knows about drugs. Let's at least pose the question to him, eh?
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
I don't want to press him too hard. He seems too nice. I'm going to be straight with him. Tommy Lahom, he seems quite a decent bloke. Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs out of Terminal B.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Wait, so why are you still handing... Oh, no, we'll ask him who could be conducting the drug trade instead.
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
That's fair. He's just contemplating life and all its complexities. I'm good for now. Good talk.
Don't be a stranger.
Gives two fingers up. How would I say? He gives a salute with two fingers. Okay, so we might not have solved any problems here, but we've made a friend. What about the racist? Does he sell drugs?
Looking for something?
The lorry driver recognizes you. You're a lorry man, right? What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
He takes a long drag on his cigarette. Why not?
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector.
Ah, drugs are for people who aren't exactly French. I get you.
They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage. Racial economic sabotage.
Racial economic sabotage. Not sure exactly what that would mean. I mean, maybe if it was meth. But weed, I'm not entirely sure. Although I'm not entirely sure what drugs we're really looking for, are we? I don't want to agree with him. So I take it... I don't want to go too hardcore. Hold on, but they make alcohol in Il Marat too. I was told they do.
I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Mundi. Or sometimes I like a dram of that Yugograd vodka. Koikos and worse much, but they do no booze.
Well, Koikos were those chaps that Measurehead mentioned about being inexplicably obsessed with potatoes, which, if we look in the real world, the country that's inexplicably obsessed with potatoes, they also know their booze. So, fair one. So I take it you're not smuggling drugs out of Martinez?
Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe.
So you're telling us that you don't know anything about drug smuggling through Terminal B?
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
He puffs on his cigarette. Then, what are you still hanging around here for? Most other camignards have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
And no one wants ass cancer. That is fair enough, Mr. Racist Lorry Driver. We shall leave you be. Oh, well, if it's not you, then who's running drugs through Terminal B?
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
Who's that?
He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff he stole after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry.
Where do I find him?
Just follow the smell. It smells like apricot and oil when you're nearby.
The lorry man lets out a raspy croak at his own sense of humour.
Yes. Where is he?
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't miss him. Just watch yourselves.
Oh, we haven't travelled south yet, so that's probably a good place to explore.
His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, all right. 100%.
Okay, racial profiling. I mean, we are
I
policemen.
wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what Sealang himself has to say.
Guess we need to pay Sealang a visit then.
Guess so.
He grins, contented with himself. I'm not sure I believe this guy. But a lead's a lead, and it will lead us somewhere. Oh, you might know. Lady on the chair.
I can't believe it's snowing again.
The young woman watches the falling snow and sighs.
It felt like springtime just a few days ago.
Oh, shit, we don't need directions. We know where we're going. Going to talk to a man about some drugs. And apparently it smells like apricots. I assume this is the man.
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin. The name Sealang is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here.
He gives you a thumbs up. What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer, you're very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
He makes both hands into finger pistols and fires a few finger bullets in the air. We are quite cool, to be fair. Really? No, we won't sound too needy. Whether I'm cool is unimportant. I have police questions for you.
You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business. Maybe I can interest you in some premium menswear instead.
Premium menswear? Now that's what we could do with. Let's not... Rhetoric. Persuade him to give you some money. Let's not do that. Otherwise it'll seem like extortion, won't it? Where are you from, Sealang?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All revolution.
Alright, well, if he wants to leave his past in the past, better not to mention. Sounds good, let's get back to business then.
Very cool. I like your style, officer.
So, Sealang, what's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
Well, tasty, tasty drugs. We're looking for a lorry driver who is transporting drugs out of the harbour. He or she is in this traffic jam.
That's so cool. You investigating the local drug trade like some cool narc? But I am not a lorry driver. I am just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
I like his approach to everything. Everything is cool. But you are a lorry man. Another driver has identified you and your lorry.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole.
He stops to think.
Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
So, see, like my source tells me you're the one transporting drugs for the Union. Let's go hard on him.
No! That's insane! It's the fat hater. He's been eyeing me for a week and he sent you here. Maybe he's the one, huh? Have you thought about that?
Stop squirming. What do you know about the drug operation at the harbour?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
And what crowd is that?
Crowd? You know, the drug crowd?
Alright, okay, if you don't know, then tell... No. Okay, if you don't know, then I'll tell your employer you've been selling his stuff. Or do we want to twist the screws on this cool dude? Tell me who the fuck is transporting the drugs here. Well, either way it's rude. I don't want to swear at him. Swearing's not very British, so let's go with option 2, telling his employer.
No use. He's not telling us. He's too afraid. We need to take him to my station and ask him there. After we've called his boss.
Okay, look. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
Okay, zooming in. Logic. Alright, look, shall we go friendly? We're buddy Sealing. Help us out. No one will know it's you.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Oh, okay, then it's a lady. That's exciting. Who are these other drivers who talk?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now.
I want us to be cool as well, Sealang.
Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one with the tattoos?
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos.
She? Where is she? I haven't yet met a woman on the roundabout.
There's one by the statue of that king. I haven't gone near her. And I won't either.
The third driver. We haven't talked to her yet. Where exactly is she? Near the horseback monument?
In her lorry there. But I don't know if it's her. Are we cool now? I think we're cool now.
I think we're cool now. Yeah, fair enough.
All right. I scored. Let's cap this off with a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses, detectives. Both of you. You deserve it.
Funky sunglasses, now that is something. Okay, I'll look around, thanks. Okay, let's peruse his wares, shall we?
Two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, Slaves, basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land. A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, Ultra Series.
Ooh, shoes.
I can see you with taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Well, let's have a look at the sneakers.
A pair of found Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super rare, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
50 real?
Only? That's madness.
How much money do we need to give to... the dude for reasons? Getting down. Pay for damages. If you're unsure how much you owe, ask Gart. Okay, well, we won't purchase anything just yet. But we will just inspect.
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable found Ultras atop them. A small heat emboss on the veneer reads, "Solidarity aid from the People's Republic of Samara." The speakers themselves don't seem to display any magical qualities.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
Oh, little speakers. I want to pat them.
No, don't pity them, officer. These are old Samaran garbage. Don't even look at them. Check out these super cool, fun Ultras instead.
Can't I just buy the sad, conquered Samaran speakers?
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk.
But that's why I want them. I think I might be a lo-fi socialist junk. Nah, we're not socialists. Heaven forbid. But I need some speakers.
Well, if you want them, but see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground. If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents?
Okay.
Damn, so you have to buy the sneakers first.
Alright, that's fine. I mean, takes one away from my encyclopedia, but 1 to reaction speed and 1 to hand-eye coordination. We'll hold off just yet. Like I say, we'll find out how much we owe before we commit to anything.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
I mean, second-hand clothes that smell like other people, I'm down. Browse through the box.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. The box smells like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first-hand, buy second-hand. Keep the economy moving.
I mean, yeah, I've shopped at Dove House Hospice before. Find something worth salvaging from that pile of rags.
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also wind, summer, 100% waterproof, and sport. All in different typefaces.
That's a lot of sport words.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
$4.50. 1 plus composure, minus 1 to shivers. Might need a jacket. Do we need a... We'll come back later. But I'm feeling... You know, jacket already is looking pretty fly. Already gives us a +1 without any minuses. Well, we'll compare and contrast later. Right now, what I'm going to do is let's talk to the... In fact, actually, I remember seeing that we need to run the number on the victim's armour. Oh, call Alice back in a day for info on the armour, so we won't do that as of yet. There's apparently a lady that we can talk to over here somewhere. Get down the boxes. Well, there's a stone we can talk to.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods.
Who is this?
A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane." Not a good track record of mental health in that family. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece.
Huh. What indentations? What do I see?
Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Ah, but shot a statue in the heart. Lieutenant, has someone shot the king? Point in the indentation.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it.
What do you think?
Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement?
Kind of sounds... It seems too convenient for it to be in the heart. Political, it's a king, and he's shot.
Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
He takes a note in his notebook.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sightings.
What did this king do?
What did he do? You have no idea what you did a week ago. How would you know what this guy did many centuries ago?
That's fair.
High above you, the king...
Alright then, encyclopedia. We shan't engage in anything like that. There's a box. Hello, box. Ooh, oh, white tank top. Physical instrument. That's what we need to punch Measurehead in the head. Right, we won't put the tank top on just yet, but next time we punch Measurehead in the head, we'll don our white tank top and see if that helps us in combat. Got another box over here. Money, thank you. And who are you?
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes, and food money. Maybe she's your...
Oh yeah, that's the face and description of a grandma we all know. Even if we don't have a grandma like that, we know someone's grandma who is like that. Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to ask you some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Grandma?
Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is grey like lead.
Is she on drugs? Snap your fingers in front of her face.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Oh, well, in that case, snap your fingers twice.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you've jolted her back to reality.
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the wary aspect of a cornered beast.
Oh, that's sad. Are you alright, ma'am? You were out.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
In the 50s? Are we in the 50s now? Wait, what's so bad about the 50s?
The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
Wow, that's an accent that's hard to understand. And that's coming from a man with an accent like me. When else would you be then?
Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with the young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you came along, that is.
Alright, okay. Who's Gabriel Bungiero?
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
She shows you the photograph in the lavish amber frame. Take a look.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide-brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen.
Sounds Italian to me.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all of his lines.
She leans back, savouring the world she's conjured up. So I take it you were in Mesk when you were young?
Someone was.
She nods as though her meaning were perfectly clear. Someone? Are these not your memories?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not?
I suppose we're all different people at different points of our lives.
They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming, ma'am.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Lowman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden.
Her eyes narrow and she appears to take your measure.
While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, in Methk, it was a golden age.
Ah, she sounds really sad. Right, I have some other questions for you. Police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing on her Myrtle lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard. What are you hauling?
Diamonds.
Diamonds? Really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Okay, but what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't even know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
What if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's contraband, Lowman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Bad Hand, Hermenegildos's bad hand, strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
I mean, yeah, some people do like strangling people. That is a thing. Not that I have any experience with that. We'll just go hard. You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare.
The adversary?
Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary, the great unrest.
That's not really what I was getting at.
Then what were you getting at?
Wanted to ask if you'd be interested in smuggling some drugs. That's entrapment there. I think it's entrapment. I think that you're not allowed as a policeman unless you're specifically being given a court order, I think it is, to pretend to go undercover and pretend to commit crime and stuff. So we're gonna play it by the book. What is it that you're hauling exactly?
Your man, Lowman. What of it?
Okay, let me put this another way. Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B?
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
You said earlier you don't know what cargo you're hauling. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grad, on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiriza to Grad, Lowman?
Drugs?
No, Lowman. Diamonds.
Okay, alright. She's clearly off her rocker. If you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. He's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
Ah, right.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
I mean, she is right, you should never trust a poet. I've been to many, well, when I say many, I've been to a couple of spoken word poetry nights, and that's probably a reason why not many people go to them. Because no one goes to a party and says, "Here, man, stick on some spoken word poetry." No one, I don't think, has ever in the history of parties has ever said that. Okay, if you're not involved with the drug trafficking, then why are you still waiting here?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the filters of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
I think we're done here, no?
Yeah, I'd say we're done here. Thank you for now.
Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesky.
Her voice trails off. Okay, alright. Potential that our poet friend is a bad man. Oh, we'll have a look at this car while we're here. A foreign car, kept in good condition. Well, don't let the racist lorry driver see that. He will be nonplussed. Alright then, poet man. What's your business?
Hello again, my man. What's on your mind?
I heard that one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
She shifts around, suddenly uncomfortable, then looks away. Why? Do you know something? What is it? Well, let's be more polite. I don't mean to pry, but I need your help. She may be involved with the drug business.
Man, I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Oh. Okay. What does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
Oh, so I've been just talking to, like, the wrong woman.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Died. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Oh, was this the woman that we spoke to in episode 1? On the... literally the first character we spoke when we stumbled out of our room.
Then she may have dyed it again.
I asked you who was conducting the drug trade. You said you didn't know. Now you're saying you do.
I didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her. That she wouldn't be mixed up in it.
He still is, hoping. It's just wishful thinking on his part, not trickery.
Who is this person? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the Lady Driver. She kept her name a secret. From me, too. Now I see why.
Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
Alright. When did she leave?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person, I know that much.
We can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
Now, that's the thing, isn't it? It's... Some people do bad things for bad reasons. Some people do bad things because they've got no other choice. And where do you draw the line in hunting and helping? It's a question that troubles me occasionally.
It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only.
I don't believe you.
Believe us, it really is.
I just can't, man. I'm not naive.
You said she's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
God, no, that is something I think we've all experienced. Ugh, hated that.
She shared this with you?
Yes. which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
It's not snitch. Well, it is snitching, isn't it? I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not?
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
When she left, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one.
Ah, the raceman. I can't remember what it's called. There's an amazing Netflix animated series about... Well, not animated series, animated film about the founding of America. And one of the characters is known as the greatest racist of all time, but only because he's really, really good at racing on horses. And that's fun.
The grey-haired woman. Maybe she knows something. Push Tommy and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
We either choose to push Tommy or try and talk to the mad woman over there. Put yourself in my shoes. I need this for another investigation too. It's important I can't blow it. Let's try and see if we can just maybe if we open our hearts to him, he'll open his heart to us. I don't want to force him. He seems like a good man. But then the old woman, she's a bit scatty in the brain. Let's try and be nice. Let's put yourself in my shoes.
You're not gonna put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man.
Imagine it. An explosion of stars. Goodbye world of men, money, and machines.
Okay. Well, I mean... So if we find her, puts her on the edge, she might blow her brains out. If we talk to this man, she'll do it. If we talk to the other woman, it's going to be the same result anyway. Time to put on our big boy police shoes, I think. She's a suspect. I need you to tell me where she is, or I can't finish the investigation. Force Tommy.
I thought you were a different kind of cop.
Oh, Tommy, don't do this to me. Something breaks in him when he stares into your eyes.
The realization that you've used his friendliness and goodwill for your own ends.
That is not what we've done, Empathy. That is not what we've done. We're policemen, and we're doing our job first. We can't make friends. We would like to be friends, but we've got a murder to solve.
Remember, you're doing it for the bigger investigation. This is important. Relax. Ask.
Thank you, Volition. There we go. Volition validating my choices there. Where is the lady driver?
Here.
He takes a key ring from his pocket, then looks at it before giving it to you in silence.
The keys to a motor lorry. Pretty complex. Looks like a chain lock.
Her lorry's still here. Down past the statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
When did she leave?
Last Friday.
Jesus. And why did you have the keys?
She left them to me. Because she trusted me. So I can get it out of the way when the jam breaks loose. Otherwise...
He doesn't finish the sentence.
The other drivers would have to tow it or break in to get the machines moving.
If they break in, they would find what's hidden inside. Something incriminating.
I'm sorry I had to do this.
I bet you are.
And he's sorry he couldn't be what he wants to be. A good person. His last line, his revenge on the world.
I don't want to ask him anything else. I don't want to push this man any further. Might be able to find out where she is now, but... Can't do it to the man. Let's go, Kim.
Thank you for your cooperation, sir. I know it was hard, but you did the right thing.
You don't really think so?
I really do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be in the RCM. Take care, sir.
Thank you, Kim, for being kind. Okay, so green thing. Is this the one?
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This is the one our man pointed to.
Try to peek in the window.
The glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers.
Well, it's clearly been here for a while if that amount of dust is already on the windows.
It feels like you're peeking into someone's home residence. Inside it's private, cozy, warm, dusty too.
Unlock the door with the key Tommy gave you.
You push the key into the lock and turn. It makes a cracking sound. Then the door pops back a few centimeters. You can just
Open it.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Admire the posters.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films from the 20s, the teens, even the 90s of the last century. One of them particularly catches your eye, a centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat. There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
Stop and wonder, what's the smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume. Probably Grenade No. 5.
Do love me some junipers. Study the centerfold.
The actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's looking past the camera. A feeling of tenderness washes over you. A longing even, perhaps. And gentle tragedy.
Okay, alright. Enough of the posters.
The actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached to the dashboard and a toolbox sits under the driver's seat.
I do quite like how they describe inanimate objects in such a way. That's a gentle tragedy. That's good writing, that. Examine the radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed. Likely by the missing lady driver.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
What about Kim Kitsuragi's favourite one? What about the Speed Freaks FM? Is it one of the saved stations here?
No, that's on 78.9.
Haha! Raise your eyebrows.
What? I happen to have committed the frequency to memory. I have no problem admitting that.
No judgment here, Kim. No judgment. Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. With quite a range, too.
A 20-kilometer radius at least. Perhaps extended by an attachable antenna that's not here right now.
Oh, well, that's clever. Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without a dial key.
Alright, fair enough.
The smell of 1,000 cigarettes.
Check the pedals.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle. Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Ah, that's interesting. Looks like the driver has glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle to offer some extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
Yeah, I mean, at least she's not driving. Is it auto? I know nothing about cars. No, there's manual and then there's stick, whatever, driving, not my forte, back up into the cabin again.
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls.
Pull out
There's a
the
radio
pull-out
transmitter in the
toolbox.
front. A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Unfold the newspaper.
It's an issue of Périphérique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Pick up the note.
It looks like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
The Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Push in the pull-out toolbox.
Pull-out toolbox slides back.
That's all we need.
The old lorry door.
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Okay then, Kim, what you gotta say?
Alright, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Seems like something the police would do. What do you think of all of this, Kim?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation. I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
This means it's well funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it.
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Well, that's some serious tech if you're able to tap into police radios. Movie posters, that's a personal thing. How do you think this is connected to the Union?
We didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation. But somehow, I doubt that Everard Clare would be oblivious to something like this happening right under his nose.
Well, with it being quite an extensive operation, that's a fair assumption to make, I reckon.
My suggestion is, we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down, indirectly, down the road.
Will the RCM open an investigation into this?
We should return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
He stops to think. What are you thinking?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
The movie posters. That's just personal stuff, I won't go into that, man. Okay, debrief over?
Debrief over. After you.
Okay, let's go and talk to the Wild Pines lady then. I shall fast forward it to when we talk to her, so I'll see you when we're over there. And we're back. Okay, let's talk to this lady.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
I spoke to the lorrymen at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
Where exactly are these eyes located?
It doesn't really matter. And I do apologise for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
Oh, a bloodbath. What was that about? A bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page. as grim as it may be.
Well, that's good to know at the very least. How are the lynching and the strike connected?
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
Oh, they've hired soldiers. A momentary lapse of faith?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Do you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenel, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
Oh, ceramic armour, kind of like the boots that the other man wore.
So, what happened?
By the other man, I mean the hanged man in the back garden.
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him. He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
Oh, so that's been hung as a man who sexually assaults women. I wouldn't hang a man for doing that, but am I sad? Oh, death is sad. Death is always sad. I won't go into it. What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenel contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
Oh shit, so they're investigating and we're investigating at the same time.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
I have to say, this is not disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
She grabs hold of the mainsail.
if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Debardeurs have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a Hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi- and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all. As I said, a bloodbath.
Jesus, that's like... Well, I suppose that's like 2 Space Marines in ceramic armour versus children, I guess. This is a pretty bleak scenario you're describing.
Many bleak scenarios have already come true. Nameless, badgeless detective of the Citizens Militia.
Oh, wow. Sorry, Joyce, that we solved your drug problem and now you're throwing shade at me.
All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
What can you tell me about Crenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell.
Down a deep, black well.
They boast a long list of clients. Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Ah, so potential war crimes then. Okay, anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
He thinks.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
She thinks.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Could you contact the company? Tell them to call it off.
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Ah, so their organisation might potentially be able to stop it, but... Ah, you said the deceased assaulted a woman.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
And to be fair, being accused of a crime is different from actually doing the crime. You can never assume guilt until it's been proven. What is it? Innocent until proven guilty. That whole Magna Carta shite. Who did the passing on then?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
What did these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
Well, I mean, even if it's not true, the fact that local people believe in it, it's more or less true in their eyes at the very least.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Ah, good thinking, Kim.
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
You meet her soon enough, you feel.
Okay, this colonel, the one who was hanged, actually, she probably won't know him, won't waste the time with that. Where are the remaining two mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
And considering that I do not have my gun, let's not do that. We still need to know where they are, though, so we can avoid them at the very least.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Oh, well, using the power of logic, let's Ben Shapiro this. Where are these mercenaries?
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbour gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
Oh, the chap saying right to work. Oh, okay.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
Interesting. One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbour gates, the scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
She nods towards the sloop's cabin. I have another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much time do we have? In fact, before we go into that, I'm thinking, what if we can't beat Measurehead in a fight, which we've leveled up so we're able to have one more punt at him before we end today's recording? What if we could go up to the scab leader, who's definitely not a scab leader, he's the mercenary, and convince him to maybe, I don't know, cause some sort of riot that forces the door open? We'll have a look anyway. How much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob, and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay.
5 days, not more. Maybe sooner.
5 days. And shit, we're nearly at the end of day 1.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
That's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Oh, can I ask you about the tattoos? Show her the photo.
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Stay quiet. Observe the woman's expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photograph paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like stars in the sky?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
Well, as long as it's not a Mandalorian, what is the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
Where is he now?
Where is he now? No, it's a morgue. I've spoken to him. For now, his soul is fastened inside his corpse.
That is precisely what the sailors feared when they drew these maps. A fear of drowning within one's own corpse.
Oh, that's eldritch, at the very least. What travels did the dead man take?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
Can I just say that by... I mean, the Pretto Grande and the Stutz Canal, like... No idea. In my mind's eye, I have no idea what the map looks like, but I love how, just by having casual conversations with people, slowly but surely, they're building up your own mind map of what this world is, even though we only see... Well, we only really have seen Revachol at this point. What is that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Ooh. Do we want to inspire them into more violence? Or do we want to... That is the question. I'm thinking that we do. Because we're policemen, we ask questions, that's what we do. I need the information.
Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
I mean, he's not wearing his super duper armour at the moment, is he? So we should be fine.
We will be careful, ma'am.
That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Nope. Okay, so what we will do... We will upgrade our physical instrument, because we're going to punch Measurehead in the head anyway before we end tonight. And just in case the Scab Leader decides to get a bit fresh with us, we'll put on the old white tank top. Which makes me sad. We're going to lose a bit of conceptualization, but gain some suggestion. Look at that. You can even see the hairy chest underneath, which is quite a sexy thing. Okie dokie, I'm going to fast forward to the Scab Leader, so I will see you in 2 quick hot ticks. And here we are, boys and girls. I'm armed with my crowbar, a bag full of bottles, my white tank top. Let's get into it.
Nice aggression with the native. Don't let the chief fool you next time. You don't need to be that up in his face. Leave yourself space to move.
Ooh, he's giving us some advice on punching. That's good.
Not bad advice, actually. This might do the trick.
Let's talk about our right to work.
I need you to be my champion. Can we avoid all this entirely and get him to fight for me? I need you to be my champion against Jean-Luc up there.
No, I'm not a fighter. I'm a worker.
Alright, okay, fair enough. Typical socialist behaviour there. I think you may be able to help me decipher some tattoos. Take out the picture. Let's see how this goes.
Don't think so.
He grunts, barely glancing at it.
Suddenly, this feels like a really, really bad idea.
What could possibly go wrong? I should have taken some health drugs. Can I take some health drugs? I can. Okay. Just in case he hits me. Do we just go into him? Fuck it, why not? It was on your kernel.
Wordless, he takes the photo and looks at it. Grey eyes dart back and forth on the glossy surface. His face is unmoving. You see dead flesh in colourful rivers of polychrome, melting skin and hair.
Fucking loincloths. Really did him in.
Loincloths?
Yeah.
He's clenching his teeth. There is silent pressure behind them.
Can you tell me what the tattoo means?
What it means.
He points to one tiny star in the web of lines away from the man's heart, almost on his stomach.
I can tell you what this one means. Only one. You want to hear what happened here?
Yes.
Our colonel is deep in the bush here. Deep in the fucking bush. In Benital, 41. Monsoon season. He's on a reconnaissance mission. He spent a month behind enemy lines, scouting kipped villages. Nothing but fucking bugs and snakes for fun. Men are getting restless. There's talk of switching employers.
He licks his lips, as if drunk suddenly.
With some strange emotion. This is about to get really graphic. Last moment to back off.
Nah, don't interrupt him.
Our boy. He's only a captain then, but he knows how these men think. If they don't see action soon.
His voice gets strangely quiet, a long, long way from right to work. His gaze pierces the paper.
At dawn, he comes upon two kids, breeding in the bushes by the river. Or maybe they weren't breeding. Maybe they were just making eyes at each other. I like to think they were breeding. We shot the boy. He was useless, but the girl, she was nice. A little fat, you know, but not too old. She was quite the entertainment for the week she lasted. Expired in the hands of Sarge Mason, the kind of guy who'd make Chief there shit his pants and cry like a bitch. God, Mason couldn't let go. Cut the tits off her cold body and fucking ate them. Said primitive spirits were watching over him now. Drowned in a creek a week later. Spirits my ass.
Something stirs in your stomach. There's a word on the tip of your tongue. Colorless, odorless. It's...
Holy fuck, these guys are bastards. Like, words beyond. Holy shit, I did not... I've told you before, I've played this game before, at least a fair few couple of times. I've never actually gone down this story arc, and I never knew that this guy was one of the mercenaries. And... holy shit. Pardon my French, but... God, that's fucking evil.
You bet it was.
What is evil? No, this is not the time. God, this is not the time for sarcasm in the conversation. You were there?
No. I was in the domain. In Jamrock. Being a bouncer.
Ah, so this guy had nothing to do with it. Even though it kind of sounds like he's condoning it. You're not really scab leader, are you?
Fucking mask is getting sweaty. I want to take my mask off. But...
do we let him keep the... I think we've got enough from that photo. We don't need to keep... But it's part of a police investigation. It is evidence. Can I have it back?
Go ahead. All right now. Free commerce! Keep the goods flowing!
On the photo in your hands, the dead man's skin is studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them, littering his dead skin.
Right, I'm just gonna leave now. Do not want to talk to him. Okay. With it being 7:15 in game time, this might potentially be the last chance we have. A punching Measurehead in the face before this day is through. Let's just fucking go for it. We've got a tank top on.
Your descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Right, okay. 58%. Got advice from the scab leader. We've got a tank top on. Let's punch him. Fuck! Damn it!
It has happened again.
Another fit of criminal rage.
Ah, bugger. I'm a degenerate alcoholic.
Good. Now go before you enter cardiac arrest.
Please, stop doing this. You are making us look bad.
Well, I'd stop it, Kim, if you shot him. God. Okay, fine. We'll punch him another day. Oh, well, I mean, we made loads of progress. We found out that this dude is mercenary, ready to murder absolutely everyone here. I've got maybe 5 days worth of time before we move on. So I think we've been playing long enough. We'll call it there. Like I said at the end of the episode, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you fancy supporting us on the old Patreon, and you're into Warhammer and Dawn of War and all that jazz, £1 a month does give you one extra game a week. And oh, sorry, that awful story has kind of harshed my mellow, so to speak. So we'll yeah, anyway, my name's been Miss Landchat. Pleasure as always, never short. I'll see you in a bit. Peace.